had last night.
Got rain.
So, thanks for everyone for stepping out and taking a nice walk around through the new police department. Ms. Tracy, what we have done here is anybody who's been interested in this, and it's just, this is not an interview process. What we have done is you and Administrator Gilbert, Tyler Backus, and Kelly Penny-Michu all came in and sold themselves and told what they were, why they wanted to be part of this, committee. And we asked no questions, and that was how it is. So we give you 5 whole minutes.
They do have your letter.
And we do have your letter.
Okay, so I apologize that I wasn't here earlier. I had a commitment previously that I could not change, so I didn't know if I'd make it, so I did write you a letter. I would love to serve on this committee. I very much enjoy community service, especially related to the school board. I served on the school board for many years. I served as the chair for 6 and a total of 18. During that time, I've been on this cost sharing committee twice because it's every 3 years. So we started the RSU in 2009 and it's come up twice. And it took a lot, sitting through those meetings, learning. It's a lot, it's complicated. I understood it, I understand it still. I think that I would go in with enough expertise to understand what the process is and what has to happen. And I have great relationships with the people in the schools and in the towns, citizens as well as board members, as well as administrators. And I think I could do a good job making a good decision for the town. I've been a taxpayer and a citizen in this town almost all of my life. And I will keep our interests at heart for sure. And I know how much of a sensitive issue it is, taxpayer dollars and not wanting higher school costs. It hurts. I understand that and I feel that myself. So I think I would do a really good job, and I would help communicate too, so that if people wanted to understand the process and understand what it means coming out of it, what the decision is made, I can do my best to help explain that so that everybody has a good understanding. 2 minutes maybe?
Good. So we can invite the other folks back in? So, all of you did a good job. Thank you for telling us your perspective on this. I guess now we can talk about this. But it has to be done before the end of the month. So guess what? We got 8 days. So I guess we ought to talk about it. Opinions, thoughts. Who would like to speak first?
What you wanted us to do was to send you a note with our vote, is what was the procedure.
I'd like to get everybody to choose, make their selection. And what I'll do is I'll tally that up. I'll let the council know who's been selected, and I will make contact with all of the candidates to let them know who's been selected.
So we'll each vote for 2?
Each vote for 2.
And more for Laura. The way it's set up, we in fact will probably have more than 2 people going. I will be going, regardless. I will be voting. We'll have 2 voting people. So I guess I would encourage anybody who's been here today that even if you're not more than 2 that are voting, that you stay involved and go to the meetings.
The public meetings.
Yeah.
Do we know who's been put on from the school board directors yet?
Mary Ann Lamar will be, has been selected. The town will.
And how did they make that select? You know the process?
I'm not sure.
I was at the meeting last week and they just said, is anybody, any board member interested? And she raised her hand and they, all in favor, yeah.
Do you know who the other board members are from the other towns?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I figured if they picked Oakland, they must have picked the other 4 towns too. No.
The other times mostly just have
like one person per town, like Rome only had
Yeah,
one
Rome
person.
was Andy, obviously.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, Andy Cook was one of them.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I think, the new lady from Sydney,
Karen.
Karen's
Yeah.
doing
Okay.
Sydney,
You?
and Becky's doing Belgrade.
Becky,
I can see
okay,
it.
and so, Chen,
So we've
Not
got
Bob.
Charlie,
uh,
Charlie.
Charlie Clark.
and Charlie, okay.
So you said Rome only has one
Mhm.
Then we have one board member.
board member. They have two other.
Well, they're talking about just board members.
No, I know, but one of the things I asked Gary, I said, how did they come up with the whole
I don't.
rationale for two from each town plus your board member?
The way it's
So
weighted.
we've got a lot more population, yet we get the same number of votes that each, so it's a vote by the town as opposed to any weighted vote.
And I did ask that, and Jerry said it was not weighted, that we have two.
And I guess my question is, why isn't it?
Who ultimately,
75-25, right?
who ultimately makes the decision on what this cost sharing is gonna be?
The committee comes to consensus, I believe is how it works. And I will tell you that the way it works is not that one town pays a certain percentage and another town pays another percentage, but they figure out the actual formula, so then they agree on the formula. So they decide what the factors are. Currently, the factors are valuation and student count. And then we decide how much of it is weighted by student count and how much of it is weighted by evaluation, and how much of it is in year 1, in year 2, in year 3, and does it shift or does it stay the same? And what is the impact to each town? And so what the committee will do is look at all those scenarios and see the impact to each town, and then make a decision on what works best for everybody, and can you get to a consensus on that committee? And they'll make a
Consensus from all the
recommendation.
towns, all the towns agree to whatever
Yes,
equation they come up with.
yes.
Has it changed at all in the 6 years?
I think it changed some, and when I say that, it didn't change in the fact that we used the same two factors. We used valuation and student count, but the numbers have shifted a little bit. So it might have been 75 and 25 one year, and then 50-50 the next year, and then 25 and 75, but a flip the next year. And it goes by rolling averages usually, so you don't get a big change, big swings from one formula to the next. But it has changed slightly, but not significantly, that I'm aware of.
The reorg plan actually set out year 1 will be done this way, year 2 this way,
Right.
year 3, and then the end result was to do the 75-25. So that's where we're at now.
And that's when at that point, we had our first real meeting where we got to decide, and I think we stayed 75-25
We
each
have.
year.
Yes, because at the very beginning, it was 75-25, but it was, for the evaluation, it was 67% and 33% for kids. And then the next year, it flipped itself. And
Right,
it went,
it flipped.
it went 67% for the kids, and for the evaluation went 33%. But still, it was at 75-25. And they, I mean, if you go on the site and read through what they've done, you can see kind of, everything that's happened.
Someone told me that the process was a 2-year process. Is that true?
It's 3.
A 3-year process.
I think you got some decide to make, you got some good candidates in front of you.
Well, they want, once we make this decision, and the towns vote on the referendum, because that's where it finally goes to the towns, to be voted on, after the committee, that some of us are gonna be sitting on, decides, then it goes to each of the towns, and the towns have to unanimously vote on that, and if they don't unanimously vote on it, then it's null and void. Yeah, not fun. But I understood it was only 5 years. It was rotated every 5 years, because that's what it was saying on the website.
I'd have to go back and look, but I thought it was 3.
The original intent was 3, and then you could speed it up if you had a petition of so many people, and Belgrade tried to do that, but by the time they would have gotten done, it would have been 3 years old.
It has been 3 in the last 2 times, but that 5 years was written somewhere, because I read that too.
Did you?
And I didn't know if that was a mistake or a new plan.
Well,
I didn't, I did read that 5-year somewhere.
And Gary Smith himself said something about a 5-year, you know.
Maybe that's where I got it. I did hear it.
Maybe the consolidation plan was 5 years, but the cost sharing formula piece of it is 3. I don't know, I have to go back and look, it's been a while since I've looked at it.
So when would you like that vote to?
As soon as you can get it to me. If you know who you're gonna vote for, then
How about by Friday?
I'll love it.
By Friday?
I'm actually taking Friday off, so,
Well,
if you
if
get
they're
them by
Friday,
Monday,
well, Monday.
Monday works for me.
Any further business?
That's it for me.
There's no further business. Mr. Hammond? Anything? Mr. Willard? Mr. Tibbetts? Mr. Beck? Sorry.
Go in here, live long enough. I think I can write that.
Laura?
No,
Sure, thank you.
Mr. Boone?
All set.
Mr. Reed? Mr. Fisher?
I have a question. One of my constituents talked to me about, I didn't read it in the newspaper, I probably should have picked up the paper, it might have been in there today, but the $2.2 million boiler ventilation system, is that happening at the school? I wanted to know if the school has a referral for proposal policy, RFP policy, and if they used it, or if they just chose a contractor.
I can answer that. I asked that same question. The answer was no. There were no competing bids, if that was your central question.
Did they put it up to, did they create an RFP though, I guess is?
I didn't ask that direct
Okay.
question, but I did ask about competitive bids in general, and they said no. They were very happy with the existing communication, and that seemed to be enough.
Because $2.2 million seems like a lot of money not to put out the bid.
There was an article about it in today's paper, and Cook's concerns were mentioned and quoted in the paper, and that's about it.
Another question you gentlemen, or your town manager should ask, is how much debt is that school system carrying? Because I asked the chairman of the board, and he was not sure. And, you know, we know they've got this $2 million deal, and they also have quote-unquote musical instruments that they buy through a bank loan. And so how many other things do they have? And boy, oh boy, you know, what are they carrying? They must be carrying a really huge debt.
I think Gary spoke about having, a lot of this equipment was leased
Mhm.
and purchased.
The instruments aren't, the instruments are being bought through
Yeah,
through a
yeah.
bank loan. Yeah, well, I'm sure printers and that kind of thing are leased things, but
I'm sure Bobby or Gary can answer that question. I imagine they're still paying on the biomass boiler project, though there was some zero interest and some loan forgiveness as part of that project. The middle school building, there must still be debt on that building. I'm sure there's some.
Mr. Fisher, any other thing?
No.
Mr. Reed?
I didn't have anything, I just want to congratulate you on a chance to represent us in District 77. Congratulations.
Thank you, it would be my honor to do that. I have nothing. May I have a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you for coming in.
We're good.
Okay.